Welcome to this video on the readiness check. In this step, we'll show you how to use the ISO 19650 checklist to review your workflows and identify the gaps. By the end of this video, you'll know where your processes stand, what to improve, and how to take the next steps confidently. Let's get started. The readiness check process is a key step in the compliance journey, and we're here to make it simple. Using this ISO 19650 checklist will guide you through a clear, structured self-assessment that's easy to follow and it's actionable. Why is this so important? Well, it helps you pinpoint where your current workflows already align with ISO 19650 standards. It identifies gaps that need attention so that you can prioritize what's most critical. And most importantly, it creates a clear and actionable roadmap to guide you in the next steps to ensure a smooth path to compliance.
The readiness check process begins by accessing the checklist. This is your structured guide helping you break down ISO 19650 requirements into manageable steps. Start with the big picture. Which of your workflows already meet the requirements? Focus on one action at a time, like metadata assignment or project milestones, to avoid overwhelm. As you go through the checklist, it will help you document findings, assign responsibilities, and even upload evidence to stay organized.
Next, move on to evaluating your practices. For each checklist item, ask yourself, is this step already part of our workflows, or is this something we still need to implement? For example, one item might be information containers assigned proper metadata. If the answer is met, that's great progress. If it's not met, you have identified a gap to address.
And finally, it's time to record your findings. As you review the checklist, document which steps are compliant and where improvements are needed. Adding comments or supporting documents make it easy to track progress and ensures clarity for your team.
By following these steps, you will create a clear and actionable overview of your compliance status. This structured approach ensures you are well prepared to address gaps and move forward confidently.
So now you've mastered this process, it's time to make things real. Let's wear our detective hats. Each checklist task is a clue, helping us uncover where your processes align and where they need improvement. In the next slides, we'll take a closer look at how to evaluate a specific task from the checklist. By seeing it in action, you'll better understand how to apply these steps to your own processes. Let's look at how this task applies when working towards ISO 19650. The goal here is to evaluate your company's current practices for managing information and identify where you're aligned to the standard or where the gaps are so that we can address them.
For example, this task checklist helps you assess specific aspects of your current information management. So the first one on the list is identify the project's information requirements. Does your team clearly document what information is needed at each stage of the project? Are you defining where this information comes from, like suppliers, consultants, or internal teams? And do you have consistent templates for project documents or formats varying across teams? Are there clear timelines for when each piece of information needs to be delivered? And are they aligned with the project phases? And finally, are there checks in place to ensure information is accurate and meets the requirements?
Let's say you are reviewing how your company manages delivery milestones. If you already have processes where milestones are documented and linked to decision points, you'd mark the checkboxes. But if you find that milestones are inconsistent or missing, you could change the status or add the comments such as need to collaborate with the project team to define milestones and assign to one of your team members. For each checklist item, you're essentially evaluating, is this already part of our current practice or do we need to implement it? By the end of this step, you will have a clear understanding of your company's strengths and areas for improvement.
Let's look at another example, assessing capability and capacity. The goal here is to ensure that your team has the right skills, resources, and infrastructure to manage information effectively. While this might sound formal, many companies are already doing it. What do you think, Clive?
Yeah, that's true. For example, before involving a subcontractor in a new project, you might hold a discussion with their team to evaluate their capacity, for example. For instance, if you've reviewed whether the subcontractor's team had enough skilled personnel trained in maybe Revit or BIM processes that you're working for, or open BIM workflows. That's assessing their capability to manage information effectively. If you check whether their IT infrastructure, like their software licenses or hardware, is sufficient to handle the project's requirements, that's verifying their infrastructure readiness. If you've identified gaps, such as the need to maybe have some additional training or tools and discuss solutions with them, that's documenting the gaps and proposing strategies. These assessments might already be part of your current process, even if they're not labeled in ISO 19650 terms. And while doing this self-assessment, this self-evaluation, think about the steps you're already taking in your project, like evaluating subcontractors' skills, tools, workflows. Many of these will already align with the checklist criteria, and you can count them towards your compliance. The key to this structure is to document and make them part of your compliance process.
To make you feel more confident, here's another example. Let's talk about confirming the BIM execution plan. Think of this step as your company's report card for ISO 19650 standards. Are we ready to ace the test, or do we need a little bit of extra preparation? Start by assessing if roles like the information manager are clearly defined within your team. Having someone accountable is like knowing who is the captain of the ship. Next, dive into your BEP strategy. Ask yourself, does it reflect our current approach to delivering project information effectively? Are we keeping it fresh and updated with evolving project needs? If not, it's time to sharpen those pencils and address the gap. Another key aspect is reviewing your responsibility matrix. Is everyone on your team clear about their part in the compliance play? Evaluate whether responsibilities are clearly defined and documented. No room for mystery here. Then assess your information production workflows. Do you have standard operating procedures for creating, sharing, and managing project information? Finally, check your IT infrastructure. Are the tools, software, and hardware your team uses compatible with OpenBIM and information exchange that supports the ISO 19650 framework? Any inconsistencies in these areas should be marked as gaps, and you can plan corrective actions. The goal here is to pinpoint where your current workflows align with ISO standards and where they need improvement, so you can build a stronger compliance process.
Here are some tips to make your self-evaluation even more effective. First, review current workflows critically. Start by thinking about how your team operates today. Compare what you already do to the checklist criteria. You already meeting some requirements without realizing it. Next, involve the right people. Don't try to do this alone. Bring in people who manage or execute the processes daily, like the BIM coordinators or project leads or information managers, to get a complete picture. Then focus on gaps that matter most. Not all gaps are created equal, so prioritize those that have the greatest impact on the compliance or the project efficiency. Then use technology to simplify the process. Plannerly allows you to document findings and assign responsibilities and track your progresses and stay you on track. Then iterate and revisit. Self-evaluation isn't a one-time task. As your team evolves and processes improve, revisit your findings to keep them current.
Yep, and by completing your readiness check, you'll have a clear picture of where you started and a prioritized list of improvements that you need to make. It will be the foundation for your gap analysis report. We'll get to that in the next video. In this video, we've provided an overview and shown examples of a few tasks. Soon, this program will be updated with many examples, one for every single task in the checklist, to guide you through more thoroughly. And as mentioned before, this program evolves with you. As we implement it across companies and many countries, we continuously refine and improve it, updating the training material, the checklists, and we will make your compliance journey and everyone else's a lot easier. So remember, don't plan late, plan early.
We are not saying that.
Okay, we'll just end like that, and then we'll go to the next one.